Hello friends, welcome back. Do you know how to forecast the potential behavior of the upcoming trading session is going to be a trending sideways or a trading range session? CPR width is one of the indicator used for forecasting the potential behavior of the upcoming session. I am going from option writing.in. In this video, I will be covering about the CPR width and its significance, how to set up the CPR width indicator in the trading view, and also we will analyze few charts with respect to CPR width. If you are not aware about CPR and the pivot point indicators, you can watch the episode 1 video. The link is given in the description below. Do watch this video till the end to get an idea of CPR width indicator. The width of the CPR is nothing but the distance between the top central pivot and the bottom central pivot. You see in this figure, the distance between the TC and BC is the width of the CPR. As we know, the CPR is calculated based on the previous session's high, low and close. If the previous session is traded in a higher range, the width of the following session's CPR will be wider. And if the previous session trades in a narrow range, width of the CPR for the following session will be narrow. The CPR width is used for potential behavior of the upcoming session, and it only gives you a guideline. Like any other technical indicator, it is not always correct, but it is an important indicator to forecast and take certain decisions for the upcoming session. The narrow CPR or the narrow range indicates that there is going to be a potential breakout either in the upside or in the downside. And the wider range indicates, the wider CPR indicates a potential sideways or a trading range session. I do use the CPR width along with other parameters to forecast the upcoming session's behavior. Especially if I am expecting a breakout and CPR width also confirms there is a narrow CPR, this really helps me in a decision making process. Here are the diagrams that illustrate the relationship between two trading sessions with respect to CPR width. In the first diagram, you see there is a wider CPR followed by the narrow CPR. The wider CPR, we can forecast it as a sideways session, and the narrow CPR, we can forecast it as the trending session. Don't worry, we will look into the live charts to analyze and see how the sessions have behaved very soon. In the second diagram, also there is a wider CPR followed by the narrow CPR. But in the second diagram, there is a much wider CPR than the first diagram. Now the question is, how do we say what is the widest CPR and what is the narrowest CPR or in between CPR? Answer to that question is the use of histogram range between 0 to 1. What histogram range will do is, it will put all the CPR widths between the 0 to 1 range. 0 being the narrowest range, 1 being the widest range. Friends, I have already written a Pine script for TradingView for the CPR width histogram indicator for multi-time frame, which supports daily, weekly, monthly and even yearly. You can use this indicator to predict the behavior for the upcoming session of daily, weekly, monthly or yearly. In a moment from now, I will show you how to set up and use this. I have also added the horizontal lines and different colors for this indicator to give a very good visual impact. The horizontal lines are between 0.25, 0.5, 0.75 and 1. Here is how we interpret the CPR width histogram values. As I mentioned, the histogram range is from 0 to 1, 0.5 being the midline. Any value above 0.5 towards 1 indicates the wider CPR. Any value from 0.5 towards 0 indicates the narrow CPR. Now, if you look at the value between 0.5 to 0.75 indicates a slightly wider CPR, and it is probably going to be a sideways to trading market. And any value that is greater than 0.75 is definitely a much wider CPR, and there are higher chances of sideways market. And the value from 0.5 to 0.25 is a narrow CPR, and possibility of being a trending market. And the value which is less than 0.25 is definitely much narrow CPR, and the chances of trending markets are higher. Friends, I hope you are enjoying the content. Consider pressing the like button. Let us now move to the TradingView software to set up the indicator and analyzing few charts with CPR width. Here is the TradingView software that I have already opened with the Nifty futures chart and applied with the CPR indicator that was discussed in the episode 1. If you do not have the TradingView software, you can go for the free subscription, in which you can use maximum of up to 3 technical indicators. If you want to have more than 3 technical indicators, you will have to go for the paid subscription. To get some discount for the paid subscription, use the link given in the description below. Now to apply the CPR width histogram indicator, here you click on the indicator and then search for CPR width histogram. You will see this CPR width histogram for selected time frame by GSY or Govind SY. Select that and then you see the CPR width indicator being applied. See, the horizontal lines seems to be not very clear. Let me turn this theme to the dark theme so that, yeah, here we go with the dark theme. Now you can see the horizontal lines that I have mentioned for the width indicator. Okay, you see here 0.5, that's a mid line, and 1 is the max width indicator line, and there is a 0.75 and there is a 0.25 line. Right now I have selected the daily time frame for the CPR width indicator. You can change the time frame by selecting weekly or monthly, yearly in the settings menu. Once you select the higher time frame, make sure to change the time frame in the chart so that the chart and the width indicator are visible clearly. Let me switch off all the support and resistances, too many of them, to see the CPR very clearly. So I am switching off S1, R1, all of them. Now you see a chart is more clear with respect to CPRs. So this is a daily CPR, the blue CPR. If you see here, it is a narrow CPR, and the histogram, the width indicator, also displaying it as a narrow CPR with a width of 0.14, and it indicates that there is a possibility of trending day. In fact, today, 30th March 2022, Nifty opened gap up, and throughout the day it was a trending day. And also there are different color shades being used for the indicator just to make a more visual impact. Anything below 0.5 is red, that's tending towards a trending days, and anything above 0.5 is a green shades are being used. If you see here, there are green shades being used. If you analyze the previous days, on 29th, it was not a very narrow CPR, so the market was in the trading range day. And if you see the previous days, there is a narrow CPR here and here, much more narrow CPR. The market was in a trending mode. So if you see here, it indicates on 23rd March a wider CPR, of course. Indicator also is showing a green color here, but the market trended. As I mentioned, it is not always correct. We can analyze the other instrument. Let me switch to the Reliance. For example, today, the 30th March, very narrow CPR for Reliance. The width is almost 0, and you see here, Reliance was in a uptrend mode. You see how it has trended throughout the day. And the previous day also, it was a slightly wider CPR, and it was in a trading range mode. Here it is a narrow CPR and it was trending. Okay. So like this, you can analyze any of the instrument that you would like to in different time frames. So use your judgment and other parameters such as price action, the proper setup, etc. to forecast the upcoming session's behavior. Friends, I hope you learned something about the CPR width and its importance in forecasting the upcoming session's behavior. Consider pressing the like button and subscribing to this channel. If you have any comments, leave it in the comment section. In the next episode, a very important topic about the CPR relationship and the developing CPR is what I am going to cover. Do press the bell icon so that you will receive a notification when I release the new video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.